There's only one thing we're talking about today, and that is that Times article about DC. The man is nuts. Hello and welcome to this video. I hope you are all doing well. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Much appreciate it. Liking helps the algorithm, sharing gets in front of people's faces, and subscribing let me know you like the channel. Hit that notification bell to let you know when videos go live. So, thank you for your support and wishes yesterday. Feeling a lot better today. Shoulder still bloody hurts, but that's what happens when you dislocate it. Live stream tonight, Leeds United versus Sheffield Wednesday versus Leeds. Let's watch it. Let's support the boy from afar. But the Times article that dropped yesterday evening, and it's finally, we are seeing mainstream media cover this. We're seeing big organizations in the world of just the world of football, the world of just in general, finally covering this and showing what he's like, right? There were bits of stuff that was happening when we played Dope. The DJ was having a bit of fun. Money too tight to mention. Vitally Red, there was Things Can Only Get Better. And it was your DJ basically having a little bit of fun. So, you know at the minute that we got the situation that we are waiting on the independent football regulation to come in. And it's likely that the investigation concerns about the club's owner, Chansiri, is a matter of urgency once it's operational, most likely within the next 3 months. Further, like a legislative, if past the independent regulator, which as yet does not have a chief executive board, could have the power to remove owners. The plight of Wednesday, which could be something that would be something I recommend they do with Sheffield Wednesday Football Club's owner, Davon Chansiri. Now, in Chansiri's 10-year reign, we've had multiple embargoes. We've had multiple times of not paying people on time. We've had a relegation. Something we should not have had in his reign. We've had 2 playoff pushes and 1 to a playoff final, and you're thinking great. But then it all went downhill after that. And the thing is, you got the other thing as well, that for what all we know is he still wants 100 million for the club. And that is depleted every time you get a chance to do about it. But Chansiri's had some really interesting things that he said about the club, about the fans, and about his lack of cash flow. Now, let's just remember, he's 57, right? We don't hear much from him at all. And there've been some employees that has claimed in the past that he could quite easily sell Hillsborough and turn it into a block of flats, kind of thing. And it's one of these things where you've also got this thing when people say when you speak to him, he believes you're on his level and sometimes calls other men boy. Now, that's just a sign of very, very much disrespectful situation in itself. Let's just call it what it is. That's just going, you're beneath me than anyone else. And I hate that. Now, when we stayed up after the abysmal appointment of Sicko Muñoz and Danny came in, right? And got into the dressing room, shaked the hand of Barry Bannon, Liam Palmer, and then walked out without saying a word. Doesn't go around the rest of the squad. Just go to the 2 longest ones who have been here the longest, going, cheers, thanks, bye. Apparently, afterwards, a player had to be restrained by staff with him saying, I want to deck him, the player said under his breath. But Chansiri did not hear him, and inside the later claimed that the chairman simply wanted to leave the room quickly so not to interrupt the team's celebrations. But here's the thing, right? If that's the case, why you should have gone and thanked everyone. Not just 2 players, thanked everyone. Even the manager should have got thanked. Now, we know that DC has got his little quirks. We all remember the monk coming to bless the stadium. We know about the elephants and stuff like that. One of the mentalist things that was hard to hear when reading the article was that he wanted to change the flow of the River Don because he's very much into feng shui and get rid of the negative energy. According to some sources, Chansiri was unhappy with the direction of the flow of the River Don that runs along Hilper, so he asked staff if they could somehow change it. The allegation was dismissed as Jeff by insiders. Someone called Chansiri claimed after researching an anti website, he found someone in London who was a distant descendant of the Thai royal family, and so the Wednesday chairman would regularly invite him to the director box at Hilper in the hope it would bring us some good luck. This is the thing, it's good luck. But you look at what's going on. We've got 15 senior players. He conducts everything. He doesn't delegate, he conducts everything. And this is the thing that you've got off well. For the longest time, we have had it that DC has said, and there was a Guy Sports interview with him, and I cannot find that interview for love and words. I reckon he killed it, where he said players are like family. So he doesn't like the idea of players leaving, and he's not a big fan of selling players. And now you got to remember, one of the players we sold for $5 million, he basically sold to someone who was part of the Thai Union group, kind of thing. And that's something where you look at it, you go, was that just helping a friend out? You have him, you can help me out, job done. Now, we know all the stuff that's happened with his dad about what's happened there, and we also know that DC wasn't involved, right? But the thing is, it does seem that he's had big money sales, part owned by a family friend, otherwise they encourage to let players go. And when we had it with Fernando Forestieri, we had a chance of getting big money for him by Fulham for 12 million. Turned it down. And when we tried to have it last summer, not last summer, last January time, where we wanted to say, let Smith go to Wrexham, it went up. The price went up. The price went up, and Sean Harvey of Wrexham left. He left, didn't do it, and eventually he then left on a free. And that's something you've got to look at it and go, what is going on? You look at the thing with Deli Bashiro, refuse to put a release clause in. You refuse to put a release clause in his contract. You put that in, we are guaranteed money for whatever someone comes in from. They have to pay it. It would have set everything in the right direction. He went for free, and then he went to Lazio for 5.4 million. You got to remember, he refuses to get people in to help him on the football side, and he then refuses to let people who are in charge at the football side bring their own players in. Darren Moore wants to sign Jock Key and Odo Benny, and he was told that they were looking at other targets. They literally got told they were looking at other targets. Danny Rull wanted to bring in Louis Barry. Chansiri turned him down, deeming the 1 million loan fee for Barry was at Setters. No, it's not. That football. 1 million for Barry would have been a really good Drew signing. It would have given us a little bit of an outball. Probably given us that last little bit of missing attack that we probably needed to try and make a proper push. And you turn around and gone none to it. No, we're not doing that. It's too much. The thing is, what you've got is, we have seen all the things that has happened with DC. We've heard the stuff about Chris Powell, about saying how dysfunctional the club is, and how there is not a proper structure involved at all. There's no board of directors, there's no CEO. it literally goes between key members of staff, which is Amu Paxdale, Lindsay Secretary, and Chansiri. Or Lindsay, Paxdale, Chansiri. That's it. Which is daft. If you look at under key staff on Wednesday's website, 12 people are listed, including executive head chief with data assurance, and a support liaison officer who works in the press office. That's it. But one of the people who's not on that list is Emilio Paxdale, and apparently he's a big advisor to DC. Surely he would be on that list, but he's not. He has a big influence in what happens at Wednesday. It's very hard to find anything on Paxdale that sticks. People have done it. Shout out to Wednesday Week on that one. Not the Wednesday Week, Wednesday Till I Die. They did a really good one by Matt. But he said it's his personal advisor who's been advising him. 2 years later, he told the Star that Paxdale recommend players to our recruitment team. Why is your advisor recommending players to the recruitment team? Isn't the job of the recruitment team to bring in players? It's in the title. It's not someone else to go, you bring this player in, you bring that player in. Paxdale used to work as an agent for Doyle and Sport, which brought stakes in players using third-party ownership, which was banned in 2015. There is nothing that said Paxdale was guilty of that. We brought in people like Darryl Laxman. Not really played. Amber Adley only did 1,608 minutes of football in his 3 years. Jordan Rowe came in, left for free. He was one of our biggest record transfers. Got 16 year strikes on, and we kept on loaning him. Chansiri needs to be advised when he took over the club, but he wasn't. So football, he chewed him up and spat him out. And this is Simon Quick. We know Simon. And this is the thing. Everything that's happened so far, he never really let anyone help him. The trust have questions for him, but he doesn't answer them. And it just becomes a slagging match between whoever's speaking and Chansiri because he doesn't listen. And that's the thing. He does not listen. Cash flow is a big problem with Wednesday. Now, at the minute, we are currently doing our situation where people are not going through it. And every time he said the cash flows, it's been speculated that Chansiri wealth has shrunk because the 40 million shares he owns in TU on a number of companies in which he has holdings had nearly halved in value since takeover when they were worth 22 bar per share, which is 28p. It appears that he'd been scrambling for money for some time, and now a couple of years ago, he offered a bank a check to invest in a blockchain venture for $1 billion. Blockchain. Now, you don't know what blockchain is. It's to do with Bitcoin and mining and stuff like that. This is a very risky thing to do when it can sometimes go very right, but it can go very, very wrong. And it only goes right if you know what you're doing. And even the people who know what they're doing lose out. That would have been mental. Thank God that idea never got off the ground and that he would have lost so much more money. He keeps looking for third-party stuff. He looked to buy a box of unrefined gold, which was located in Africa, which weighed 500 kg. This is the thing you've got. You've got people like Barry Bannon, who's our best player at 35 still, had much bigger deals on the table from Millwall and Middlesbrough, and he still stayed at the club because he wants to still be here. Now, Henrik's here. He's come do quite well. He's had some quite lucrative offers, and he's also stayed. We don't know if anyone's going to get paid this month. Chansiri's out of the UK recently, and Dapper complained about the initial ability to speak to him. Previous paydays, the club seemed to lack in funds and just drop into club's accounts on the morning salaries were due, meaning that everyone received their pay. This month, Wednesday received their standard monthly $460,000 dispute payment from the EFL and biannual payment for the Premier League of 2.6 million. Now, the staff, we had it that the trust raised about 20,000 into Slough 100 Football. Then there's up to 500 available every month to everyone at the club who've not been paid. So you got that. We got Gassama, who could have gone for a lot more than 2.2 million, and we had that slashed as well because of who the release clause, not release clause, what we owed PSG. You got Colin Canamarchi, who's gone to Man City, who's already started going there for 1 million. We can't sign players. The EFL free signing until Chansiri can prove funds. So far, we got a keeper in because of the situation to pay Charles. They've been taught that Charles could go with bids of 2.2 million on table, and we've turned them down. There's some that have been where if when they accepted the offer, it will be he could come back on loan. Cooper was penciled to have a medical last week, and that didn't happen. You got Pedersen wanting coaches, not got them in yet. It's penny pinching and penny pinching. You've got a situation where players want stuff to happen. At one point, players would training at Jubilee Sport Club because everything wasn't there. We got a grant for 671 from the Football Associations. And this is the thing. This is what you've got that going on at the club. We don't own the training ground because it council red tape. So a lot of it, we have to go through them to say, what's going on? Can we do this? You had the whole thing with Danny Rull and everything like that. So is there something that we can take from this? The Trust Black and Gold stuff situation is helping, and Wrexham helping with that. There's an anti-Chansiri protest going outside the Thai embassy in London last Saturday, and fans refusing to spend any money. We play Leeds, and Chansiri dropped it to £15, but people are still not going. They don't want to. You've had people from the MPs that are getting involved. Everything is starting to look like it's getting more and more like the football governance stuff is going to be the thing that helps us, which turns in, and hopefully it can help us sort out something to get this sorted. If we can get it done quickly, move forward, and set out without delay, because it should be deemed that Chansiri is unsuitable, and the regulation could force the Thai to sell one of Wendy's suitors so long as the secondary laws are passed that arm the unit. Experts say they could happen by November. Need to happen by November. Chansiri has already turned down offers empowered by David Hinchcliffe, a specialist in selling clubs to look for buyers. It's attractive fees, trying to clear all the debt. And the problem with DC, we don't know what you want for the club. And we need to know what you want for the club. Now, the Times reached out to GC to have a comment. They got nothing back. Doesn't surprise you. This was a very good interview. This was a very good article explaining everything that's going on with Wednesday at the moment. And it just shows you how nuts the man actually is. And how much he is out of touch and just doesn't get the football industry, full stop. So, as a Sheffield Wednesday fan, as a fan base, we plead you to get this sold to people who know what they're doing. Because you, frankly, don't have a clue. Like, share, and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I know this is a really long video, so I apologise for that. So you may have to watch it in chunks. But yeah, see what happens. But yeah, speak to you in a bit.